Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III and the Royal Court expansion. So today we will be doing the historical lecture. This is something I do in my CK3 and EU4 series. I'll do like a couple lectures for each campaign. A lot of viewers enjoy them, feel that it adds historical context to the gameplay, while some viewers do not. If you're one of those who does not want to listen to the historical lectures, you just want to skip straight to the gameplay, I always put a timestamp in a pinned comment that allows you to skip right past the lecture and get right into the gameplay in the episode. So I do like to include my credentials here for transparency's sake. I do have a bachelor degree in history, also have a bachelor degree in political science. The focus of my history degree was not the Middle Ages. I'm not a medievalist. Instead, my degree focused on early modern European history, so the period of EU4 in paradox terms. I've also done quite a bit of independent study in the period of antiquity, classical history, so I would say that I'm pretty knowledgeable about that area as well. But when it comes to Middle Ages, well, I've done a lot of independent study. I also took two college classes, or two or three college classes when I was getting my degree. This is definitely not the area of my expertise. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today's lecture is going to be about Bolesław II, our current king. Now, when he was ruling Poland, which he wasn't a king at this time. We'll get more into that. He's actually a duke here at the beginning of our lecture. But when he became a duke here in Poland after his father died, Europe was in a difficult time period. I'm going to assume that many of you guys know about the investiture controversy, which was essentially about who had the authority to appoint bishops in Europe. Was it the Pope and the Church that had the right to appoint bishops, or was it the kings? Now, one of the key figures who believed that it was the kings that should be appointing bishops was the current Holy Roman Emperor, Henry IV. Of course, on the Pope side, you got the Pope himself. He's a key figure, trying to push the Pope's rights, and that's Gregory VII. Now, our man here, Bolesław II, he is an anti-imperial. He is pro-Pope. He believes the Pope should have the authority to appoint the bishops, and much of what he's going to do during his reign when it comes to foreign policy, which is the first area we're going to touch on here, much of that is guided by his anti-imperial stance. So he has several, neighbors here. You got three key neighbors. One of them, of course, is Henry IV in the Empire. Then you have the Hungarians over here, and then you have the Kievan Rus. So the basic plan of his reign is to establish friendly relations with the two neighbors in the east and the south, so that he can focus exclusively on the emperor and any conflict that might emerge on this side of his borders. The first conflict he's going to get involved in is over the throne of Hungary. You have Béla I having a succession crisis with a man named Solomon. Now, Solomon is related to the Emperor Henry IV by marriage, and he is supported by Henry IV to become the king of Hungary. Obviously, having a relative of Henry IV on the Hungarian throne is not good for Bolesław, so he's going to support his uncle Béla, who will become Béla I of Hungary. He's currently dead in our campaign, but he's going to support Béla for the kingship. The Poles are going to send troops down here and help Béla get the throne. Now, unfortunately, he does not live for very long. He's only king for a couple years after the Poles help him gain the throne, and Solomon does end up taking over the throne of Hungary rather than Béla's son, who should have taken over and who's the current king in our campaign, which I believe this would be Giza. I might be mispronouncing that, correct me if I'm wrong. But Giza should have become the king, but instead Solomon does with the backing of Henry IV, because at that time Bolesław was not able to get involved in the conflict. Now, Solomon's going to sit on the throne of Hungary for quite some time, for about a decade or so, before he's eventually overthrown by the sons of Béla, and that is Giza and Ladislav, the younger brother here. So they're going to overthrow Solomon, and he will become king. He, again, like his father, is not going to rule for very long. Eventually he dies. And then you have another succession crisis as Solomon is again trying to take over the throne of Hungary with the support of Henry IV. And this time Bolesław will get involved to support the brother Ladislav, which I don't know if this is, I don't know how this is pronounced here in Hungarian. I've always seen it spelled much different, and I've always heard it pronounced Ladislav. I'm sure his name is pronounced differently in Hungarian. But yeah, Ladislav is going to be supported by Bolesław for the throne, and they will be successful, and the Poles played a large role in him gaining the throne. Ladislav is probably one of the more famous Hungarian kings. He eventually becomes a saint and accomplished quite a few things during his rule. So it takes almost the entirety of his reign, but he does eventually establish a friendly king down here in Hungary, and that is his cousin Ladislav. So the current king of Hungary in our campaign is our cousin. That is, of course, because Béla is our uncle through marriage. He married our aunt here. So yeah, he does establish a friendly king down in Hungary. Over here on the border with the Kievan Rus, he pretty much had a friendly king over there already through marriage, which is not this guy. It's this guy here. He's already dead now in our campaign, but he was married to our aunt, and I believe he was king for, if not all, then most of Bolesław's reign. But he does get deposed briefly. He gets deposed, there's a rebellion, they remove him as king, and Bolesław is going to get involved in this conflict. He's going to bring his troops into their territory and help him retake his throne, put him back on the throne, and ensure that he has a friendly king over here on his eastern border. That's the goal of Bolesław's reign, to try and get friendly kings over here, and that is all so that he can oppose the Holy Roman Emperor over here. Specifically, though, who is really kind of his enemy, is the King of Bohemia. And this conflict over here is really over the territory here in Silesia. Can we click on this? Here we go. So we have Lower Silesia, and then there's also, I guess you can't really see it because we don't have a duke here, but if we clicked on one of the provinces here, you can see that there's Upper Silesia as well. So this territory of Silesia is one that has caused conflict throughout the years in this area. One more notable example is, in the 18th century, the conflict between Prussia and the Austrians over this territory. But this has been a location that the countries around this area have been fighting over for hundreds of years, and it's definitely the case here during the reign of Bolesław that this is an area that they're gonna have some conflict over. The first Duke of Poland from our dynasty, the Piast Dynasty, is Mieszko I. So if we were to look in our dynasty tree, that's him right here. So he's the first Duke of Poland from our dynasty, and he's the one who conquers Silesia for Poland. Mieszko I's successors will lose Silesia. However, our father, Casimir I, the restorer, or as it's said here for the Polish, Kazimierz? Yeah, I guess we'd pronounce that Kazimierz. Those Polish people in the comments can correct me. But yeah, he's Casimir I, the restorer in English, and he's the one who's going to regain Silesia for Poland. However, as part of the treaty that Casimir signed to gain Silesia, he agreed to pay tribute to the Duke of Bohemia. Now you'll see it says the King of Bohemia. We'll talk about that in a minute. But he's required to pay tribute to the Duke of Bohemia. Sometimes they instead pay the tribute to the Emperor, but it is typically supposed to be the Duke of Bohemia that gets the tribute for Silesia. And this tribute is going to cause many problems for the members of our dynasty who frankly don't want to pay it. And this is going to include our man here, Bolesław. Really, that's what it comes down to. He wants to secure his borders so that he can defy the Bohemians, the Czechs, and not pay tribute for Silesia as he is supposed to. The Duke of Bohemia at this time, during the reign of our king, is Władysław, and he is actually going to be given the title of king. He's a very close ally of Henry IV, and Henry IV is going to grant him the title of king, but it is not a hereditary title. He is not able to give it to his sons. It basically goes back to being a duchy. Bohemia goes back to being a duchy once he dies. As you'd expect, Władysław is not willing to accept that he is not going to make his payments, and thus Bolesław does have to invade Bohemia in order to enforce this, which ends up working out for him, and a big part of that is because what's happening here in the empire. Henry IV begins to assemble an army in order to invade Poland and enforce these tribute payments to start back up. However, he ends up facing a rebellion, and part of this is all because of the investiture controversy that's going on. He's having a lot of issues. The emperor is, which is Heinrich IV or Henry IV. So he's having a lot of issues because of a rebellion that's happening and because of the investiture controversy that's going on with the Pope. He's got a lot of problems right now, and thus he is not able to invade Poland, and that kind of saves Bolesław from having to fight a war over this tribute. Eventually, peace is made between Poland and Bohemia, as it typically is through marriage. And you can see that here. Bolesław's sister is currently married to Władysław. So that kind of ends most of the issues over here, though Bolesław is still an opponent of Henry IV and the Emperor, as we've seen when we talked about what happens later in Hungary. So now I want to move over to Bolesław's domestic accomplishments, and there's two primary things that we're going to discuss here. The first one is that Bolesław is going to reform the currency in Poland. So he's going to establish a bunch of mints. He's going to start making his own coins, and this is going to greatly improve the economy in Poland. These coins, he puts out so many coins, thousands and thousands of coins. You can still find these today. There's numerous surviving examples of the coins in museums, collectors. There's many collectors that have several examples of them. So you can easily Google Bolesław II coins, and you'll see Google will pull up numerous examples of different coins, of the many different types of coins that he minted during his reign. So this currency reform will greatly improve the economy of Poland during Bolesław's reign. The other thing he does is related to religious matters. He's going to establish a new archdiocese as well as numerous monasteries, and these are going to greatly improve his relations with the Pope Gregory VII. And remember, he also supports the Pope in the investiture controversy. So Bolesław is going to make use of this goodwill that he has established with the Pope to request that he be elevated to the title of king, that Poland be reestablished as the Kingdom of Poland. Because remember, at this time, they are a duchy. So I had said that they had been a king before. Mieszko II is one who loses the kingship. He faces a rebellion, and the nobles take over, and it gets broken apart into a bunch of duchies. And while there's often like a senior duke, like a Duke of Poland, they are just a series of duchies. When our father dies, Casimir I, when he dies, he gives duchies to all of his sons. Now, Bolesław, as the eldest, is going to gain the most land. We already kind of saw that when we jumped in, that one of our brothers did have quite a bit of territory. Now, our third brother, he died, and we inherited all that land before the game started here. So if CK3 was being accurate, we would actually be a duke when we started. But the problem with that, of course, is that dukes can't have dukes as vassals. And so our brother was a duke, and we were a duke. So how do you make that happen in game terms? How do you put a duke underneath another duke? It's not possible with the way CK3 works. So therefore, they decided to go ahead and give him the kingship, right from the start. And you know what? I want to say with Bohemia, it's kind of the same situation. I don't think they ever lose the kingship when Władysław dies. I could be wrong about that, but I've never played as Bohemia in the game. But I assume they keep their king title here. Because CK3 is not trying to be, 100% accurate here. But to get back on track, the Pope does confirm his request and agrees that Bolesław will become the king of Poland, be elevated to a king, and his new archbishop is the one who crowns him as king. The Kingdom of Poland has been reestablished. They now have a king again, but as we already know, because I've mentioned it several times in this series, he's not going to be king for very long, unfortunately. He's going to be deposed, and that happens for three reasons, really. The first reason is because of the constant warfare. The nobles are not happy with all the warfare, particularly because Bolesław is not really conquering territory and extending his power and bringing wealth into Poland, and bringing in new lands that he can then give out to his followers and knights. He's not really doing a lot of that during his reign. He's mostly fighting for other kingdoms. He's fighting to put pretenders or reestablish a king on their throne, like what he did here in Hungary twice, or what he did in Kiev over here. So the constant wars is going to take its toll. That's something that's represented in the game. They have that mechanic where you slowly lose opinion with your vassals when you're constantly at war. So that's going to be one factor. Another one is going to be the kingship. Poland has not had a king for quite some time. Nobody alive here in Poland, during Bolesław's reign, none of them have been under a king before. So these nobles feel that now that he is a king, that they have lost some of their own authority, lost some of their own rights. It was one thing when he was just the senior duke here, but now he's the king. And so they're very much worried about his increased power and that it's threatening their own authority and rights as nobles. So those two things are going to play significant roles in why the nobles rebel, but there's really going to be one event that kind of serves as the catalyst for this rebellion, that kind of is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and that is going to be regarding a bishop named Stanislav. Bishop Stanislav is going to excommunicate Bolesław, and we don't really know why. There are multiple primary sources that give different reasons for why Stanislav excommunicated the king. So we don't know exactly why, which one's true, and maybe none of them's true. But the point is that he does excommunicate the king, and Bolesław is going to declare him a traitor for doing so. Bolesław is going to hold a trial and find the bishop guilty. He's going to order his execution. However, his men are going to refuse to do so. They don't feel comfortable killing a bishop. And thus Bolesław decides to do it himself. He kills him with his own sword. And Stanislav is essentially going to become like a martyr. And this is going to be the catalyst for the rebellion. And it is important to note that the nobles were already at the point of rebellion. The rebellion probably would have happened anyways, but it did turn a lot of nobles against him. The rebellion was much larger, and thus there's no doubt that this event did play a role in why he loses his throne. Now, regarding Stanislav, he does end up becoming a saint. He is made a saint a bit later, but it's very much a Thomas Becket kind of situation. If you guys recall Thomas Becket there in England, very similar situation. Some knights, they're the ones who execute Thomas Becket because of something the king said. Whether the king actually wanted him executed or not is unclear. But he becomes a martyr, and it doesn't go well for the king. And just a very similar situation, but it goes much better for King Henry than it does for old Bolesław, because he is deposed. He flees to Hungary, where Ladislav at this point is ruling, and he allows Bolesław to, seek refuge here, and a big part of that is probably because he did play such a large role in helping him get his throne. And he's only going to live in Hungary for a couple years before he is poisoned, assassinated. Now, we don't know who poisoned him. Some people suspect it could have been somebody who was Polish, but more than likely, it was probably one of the Hungarians. Apparently, Bolesław was not well liked in his time in Hungary. So that's the end of our king. And most importantly here for the long term of history is his brother takes over, who we assassinated. So he takes over, and he is not made a king. He does not inherit the king title. He is once again back to being a duke. Now, there will not be another king of Poland until 1295. So over 200 years later, after Bolesław II lost the title. Now, one of the things I find interesting is with the name Bolesław, it was actually Bolesław I, which I suppose we can hop in our dynasty tree over here. Bolesław I, he was actually the first king of Poland. So you notice that Mieszko was a duke, and then it goes to the king here, Bolesław the Brave. So he was the first king of Poland, and then you have Bolesław II, and he has also been made king, but then loses it. And then if you want to keep on going with the Bolesławs here, our brother's son, our nephew, was also named Bolesław, and he'll become Duke of Poland as Bolesław III, and he's another one of the more notable members of this dynasty. Quite a few things happened during his reign. But we don't have time to talk about Bolesław III today or anything else, because that will be the end of today's lecture. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into the gameplay. I did end up talking way longer than I meant to, and that's always the case. I don't know if I can get through these lectures without going way longer than I intend to do. I'm going to have to kind of butcher this up to make this much, much shorter, and even then it's probably going to be longer than I intended it to be. But yeah, I'm going to have to cut it up quite a bit to make it a little bit more manageable, because this is way too long, so let's go ahead and hop on into the game. The first thing we need to do is hand out these titles here, which we just took over at the end of the last episode. And we don't really have any knights to give anything to. Everybody already has a title here. I don't really want to give any titles out to people who are already landed. We're just going to put some new people in here. I'd rather have a bunch of weak vassals. Honestly, that's how I like to play. Just a bunch of weak vassals. And we're just going to put Pomeranian nobles in here. And one of the advantages of handing out these titles, of course, is that it does increase the cultural acceptance. I don't know that I've mentioned that at all. Maybe I did. But it does increase the cultural acceptance with this culture, the Pomeranians, which is currently at 47%. So we are getting penalties. I want to say the penalties maybe stop at 50%, I'm not sure, but we'll find out here in a minute, because we're going to go over 50% here. We can take a look at what the current penalties are now. The popular opinion penalty, we're getting a -4 right now here, just from the popular opinion. So we'll see if that gets removed once we give out these titles. So let's go and take a look. I guess it might not be applied anymore, because you'll have the Pomeranian noble here. But you can kind of see here, it still hasn't gone down by much. Let's just go and keep on granting these, and we'll take a look at the last one and see if it's made much of a difference here. Nope. Culture acceptance is still, unfortunately, giving us a -4, but I'm sure it's gone up. Yeah, you'd assume it has gone up here. It's at 51% now, so yeah, it has been going up. And so we're likely sitting at 52% at this point. So that should help improve our opinion with all of our vassals over here as well. They're not going to have as big of a penalty. It's -7 right now, but I'm sure it was much higher before that. A couple other things we need to do here. One person asked if we could perhaps get him excommunicated because of his sins. We cannot. First of all, you got to have 500 piety, which we don't. But even if we did, they would not be willing. The Pope would not be willing to accept this for many, many reasons. He has a high opinion of him. His opinion of us, Pope Alexander II's opinion of us, is pretty low. He's got virtuous traits. So yeah, there's not... I mean, he's got the fornicator. But yeah, other than that, he's definitely not going to excommunicate him. So that's not an option. But another thing brought up, this is an option, is that we can start converting the religion to some of these provinces here. Now, I didn't so much care about it because we don't directly manage it, and I often only really care about converting religions and territory that I actually manage, but it's still good to do, especially if you're not really doing anything with your archbishop, which we're not. So yeah, we can go in and convert faith here. There's really no reason not to. It's a good thing, and plus, we took this territory in holy wars, so it makes sense for us to then want to actually convert that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start working on this. It's going to take forever. It's going to take a long, long time. Luckily, our archbishop's not too bad. We could be much, much worse. But still, it's going to take a long time for them to get that done. So I think that's it. That's all we need to do. We're currently working here in Kiev to find secrets. I had mentioned in a pinned comment that once our spy master is no longer busy, that's another thing we need to do. As soon as this guy dies, which should be pretty soon, we need to find somebody to replace him that's a bit better. And the reason why I'm not doing it now is I don't want to piss him off, because remember, the opinion of the former holder of the title will impact the next ruler. So yeah, we want to get a nice bonus there rather than a penalty. So we'll keep that opinion high, and he should be dead very, very soon here. But yeah, I had mentioned in the pinned comment that we could send the spy master to our capital to do the find secrets, and maybe, just maybe, he might be able to find who murdered our wife. Now again, probably not, because they would have to be in the capital, and you'd have to find it. It's unlikely. Mieszko has returned. One thing I noticed with our sons, first of all, Casimir has his education trait, Rowdy, so we can go ahead and give him an education. I think a martial education would be best. You could do intrigue as well. I think Marshall would fit well for him. So let's go ahead and choose that focus. And then with our youngest son, Lambert, which a big reason why I picked this is because of the Witcher series. You know, I don't really like the show all that much. The first season was okay. I didn't really like the second season that much. But I did read all the books. I like the books. They're pretty good. I played the games. I played the games first, and that made me read the books. The books are fantastic. If you haven't read them, very, very good books. They are written by a Polish author, and the English translations are not bad at all. They're pretty good overall. I had heard that the English translations were rough, but I enjoyed them. I didn't really have too many issues with them. But one of the Witchers is named Lambert, and when I saw that, I was like, yeah, you got to name him Lambert. However, he is slow. He's got the slow trait. That's what I noticed here. And so I was intending to have him do the learning education if he got a trait that wasn't going to give him a penalty there, so that maybe we could have him go to the church. That'd be one way we could deal with inheritance here. But yeah, now he's got that slow trait. I mean, he can still do it, but he's not gonna be very good at it. He's not gonna be good at anything. The slow trait reduces your, the education trait regardless. Fickle Philip. I bump into a very grave-looking Eugenios, my carpenter, hoping that he doesn't bring ill news of the splendid chest he should soon have ready for me. Is this something that we have going over here? Yes. Okay, so he's making an artisan inspiration for us. So he says, "Oh, there you are, my liege. I have hit a wall in my work. Nothing major. My ideas have gone to ground as the pressure mounts." He laughs nervously. "I just need some inspiration. Mighty king, might you have some prior examples I could examine?" Okay, so we say real inspiration comes from within. He'll lose opinion with us. We'll gain critical stress because we're diligent and generous. And the inspiration will lose progress. But let's say to the Great Hall. I don't know if there will be anything in there that will actually inspire him. It looks like there's a no. We don't really have much in our Great Hall, do we? I knew we had a couple things. But yeah, these aren't what he's looking for. So unfortunately, we can either just say that what a waste of time, which as a diligent person we would gain stress for, or we can just do this option. There must be some junk lying around, but this is not the good option. But it has a 12% chance of having a slightly higher quality and increase in opinion. But more than likely, we got a 62% chance here that it's going to be a slightly lower quality. So that's unfortunate. And that's the one that happened, of course. Our counselor did die, as we expected. We were just waiting on that. So let's go and get somebody appointed, and we want somebody really good here. Now, we actually have a fantastic diplomat over here. And he's such a good diplomat. Of course, we have the really good marshal as well. But we need somebody who's great at intrigue. Now, we could put him there with the 11. That would be an option. He would be a better option to do the for the 11, because then you could put that diplomacy count here instead. So if we're just going to go with 11, we could do that. But we really need to get these done. And so I think we're going to appoint somebody really good here. This Countess, she likes us. She's intimidated by us. I'm not too worried. I know that this guy is angry. We'll fix this eventually. We'll change out the positions in the court. Let's focus on getting these murders done. Bolesław, I call him Bolesław. Bolesław has little children to kill. It's just this game, man. It just has you doing awful things. I was thinking about that when I was editing the video the other day. I was like, man, we're over here like murdering all these children. The things you do in this game. And then when you watch your loved ones play it, like I watch my wife play CK, and watching her, the things she does, really makes you realize you might not know that spouse of yours as much as you thought you did when you watch them play some CK. The story I always tell, she was playing, I think she was playing as Matilda. And I believe she was playing as Matilda of Tuscany. And she ended up murdering a baby because the man she had married had had a baby from a prior marriage. And the baby wasn't even set to inherit anything, I don't think. And yet she murdered the baby just because it wasn't hers. So, yeah, it really makes you think about the people you know. And maybe you don't know. You don't know them as well as you thought. All right, so it looks like he has finished the construction. He whips the covering off. My eyes grow wide as I see what's hidden beneath. A chest of excellent craftsmanship. It is constructed from walnut planks. The wood has been varnished to give it a rich, dark shine. So this is a sturdy chest, masterwork furniture. It's going to increase our piety and our court grandeur. Okay, So it's helpful. It's not one of the better things to have, but we'll put it in our court, of course, which will be over here or here. I guess we can just take a look and see how it looks over there. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Let me see how it looks over here first, though, before we decide. Yeah, I like it over there better. So I was thinking it was going to be in front of the fireplace, which, you know, that would have been a good spot for it. But yeah, I like it right there. So we got our sturdy chest over there, increasing our piety per month, and our court grandeur, which is now going to go up, but still not going to get us up to that level 6 just yet. Which, by the way, I know a few people didn't know this, but we did lose a level 6 a while back, so we don't have that counselor ability anymore. Some people were asking me to use it. We don't have access to that right now, guys. We did lose that. So remember, we have our really good spy master over here, working on trying to find those secrets. And our son learned a language, the Baltic language. Excellent. So do we want him to learn another one? He's 14 years old. I know that, yeah, they do have a limit here, and he has already reached that limit, so that's not going to work. And our younger sons are not old enough just yet. And I don't think he's going to do too well anyway, because he's slow, so we might not even have him try. I mean, we could have him try, I suppose, but he's not going to do well at it. He's probably going to fail, just because those intelligence traits do affect the learning of the languages. All right, so we did sway this guy over here. I don't know if we want to do him again, or if we should perhaps work on somebody else. Could improve the opinion with the marshal here. That would be an option. We could try and learn another language as well. We are still pretty young overall. I mean, why not, right? We can learn up to 3 here. So I kind of feel like we should try and learn a language, which we can work on our East Slavic again. We could also try and learn Baltic, the Baltic language here. So let's go to our character finder here. And I suppose this is the best way we'll do it. And we'll just probably sort it by learning, and then base it off of what cultures we might want to learn, or what religions we want to learn. Because, yeah, we want somebody who has the best learning possible. Make sure I didn't pass anybody. No? Okay, so nobody so far that has a language we don't already know. So it seems like we lack good teachers. You know, obviously we could learn Welsh here, but yeah, we don't really need that. We could learn Czech, the Czech-Slavian language. Is that spoken here in Silesia? I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look. Why not? We'll come take a peek real quick and see what language is spoken here. It looks like Polish all through here. Okay. That's not a problem. It's Polish culture, so it won't be the Czechs. Eventually, maybe we'll conquer that territory, but I'd prefer to do either East Slavic or Baltic. So this is the first one, Prussian here, with the learning of 13. You've got a bunch of characters here that you can choose. Okay, so I mean, really any of these would work. But if you're going to pick just any character, you should probably go with somebody who has a decent opinion of you, I suppose. I don't know if that actually impacts it. I'm not entirely sure what all impacts it besides learning. It might not be anything. You could do this character here. He's a bishop. And see if he's willing to teach us. He's terrified of us. Could do a young lady as well. Yeah, I guess we'll do this guy here. See if he's willing to anyway. 55% chance. That's one thing I would be curious of, is is the chance going to change at all based on the character that we select here? Now they all have the same learning, so I'm assuming that it wouldn't, but maybe other things impact it. That's what I'd be curious to know here. So let's just grab one of these other characters here. Maybe look at their traits. We go with her and just see if it matters at all. It doesn't. I think it's entirely based on learning. So yeah, we could just do. Our wife might get jealous if we're learning from a young lady. So yeah, we'll do this. It's not a high chance. We had like a 60-something% chance when we were trying to learn East Slavic, and we failed. So, you know, maybe it's not worth our time. We'll try it. Why not? So the Find Secrets task was successful. Alright, excellent. So let's go ahead and just blackmail her immediately. 90% chance of success there. Alright, so we got the hook. We'll take a look if we have anybody we can invite. Here we now have 3 options here. Alright, awesome. We're looking for people we don't have to pay. So here's one of our hooks, and he's not willing to accept because that's a huge penalty there. And that's because he's intimidated by his ruler. That might be why we've been having so much trouble getting agents here, is if he's got everybody scared of him, then yeah, that would explain it. I'm not seeing the other person with the hook. Maybe they're not here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else with the hook. It looks like we're gonna have to pay, frankly, because this is gonna go in 23 months. We could wait to find one more secret, but I don't like the secrecy being so low, with only 55% chance, 45% chance that it'll be discovered. So yeah, I think we should just get somebody. We'll get this guy if we can pay him. It'd be 56 gold, so let's do that. And that'll increase it up to 80% secrecy. It's a good chance we won't get discovered here. And then 65% chance of success, which is not good. And only 1 year before that fires. So I don't know if this Find Secrets is going to happen in time. We'll have to watch it. But yeah, remember we want to put our spy master, switch her over to the other mission so that she can help us out with that. So we do have an event here for learning a language. This is a Warren manual. So he's going to approach us. He says, "My lord, I have heard that you are studying the Baltic language. My father was a merchant, and he could learn any language in no time at all. His secrets are in this manual. I have no use for it, and as I cannot read, I'd part with it for a reasonable sum." So he does want us to pay money that we don't have. But I wonder, yeah, this is something we could use forever for learning languages. And it's an inventory artifact, which means that we could pass it on to our son. And while he has reached his limit now, his limit will get higher once he becomes the ruler. So I think we might want to go ahead and pay him. We could take the stress as well, but we're generous. We're not going to do that because it's a huge amount of stress right there. Same with this one here. Yeah, we'll pay him. It'll put us in debt, unfortunately, is what it is. We'll slowly get out of debt. But yeah, we're going to need to pay attention to this. I don't know if this is going to happen fast enough for us to want to wait for it. This is kind of flip-flopping here. And there are additional people to pay, though we don't have any money now, so that's not really an option. Yeah, I think we will get it done. We'll see if we can't find one more secret here. And he wants to pay homage to us. Awesome. This is our big man here. I feel like he should be our bodyguard. We don't have any money to pay him. But, yeah, I think we're going to make him the bodyguard. His prowess is pretty good. It's not our highest prowess, I don't think. But he's just something about him. He's just a beast. Now, I guess he's getting older. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, he's just a big old dude. Just makes me want to make him a bodyguard. So yeah, we'll let him pay homage. And nothing different here. But yeah, I'm really tempted to make him our bodyguard anyways. We could also make this guy our bodyguard. He actually likes us now, where before he didn't. We've increased that opinion with him, so he has a fond opinion of us. He's also an older dude though, so if we're gonna do that, might as well make the big guy the bodyguard. You know what? I say let's do it, man. Let's appoint ourselves a bodyguard. We could also appoint the antiquarian. Yeah, I can see doing that. They're not very expensive. The money has been an issue for us, but it's not. It's definitely something I'd like to do here. Though, we only have average people at this. Could put our court physician in this. Can they do this job in addition to court physician? You would think that would not be allowed. And I'm not entirely sure if that would replace it. If you guys know, then post it down in the comments. This guy is average, so it's not based just off of learning. I'm not entirely sure what it's based on. But yeah, he seems like he's fine. This is the guy we hired to do that inspiration, so why not? Let's give him a job. He has nothing else to do here now. So yeah, we'll put him in place. And I also want to get ourselves a bodyguard. And there's only one person available here. Okay, you probably can't put vassals in the bodyguard position. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think I've ever done that before. Put a bodyguard in, or put a vassal in the bodyguard position. Oh, we lost our blackmail hook on her, though. I don't think we were using that one. I don't even think she was available in there. Oh no, our mother just died. Oh, what a shame. Alright. As you age, you start losing your parents. I lost my parents at a very young age. I never really knew my father, but my mom died when I was 19, 18 or 19 is when my mother passed, so a long time ago. But yeah, you're getting older, getting in your 40s. Our alliance expired because of that. Okay. So we no longer have an alliance with them. That's fine. Well, we have an alliance with him. It was... Where is he at? Is he here? No, he's not here. I wonder if the alliance didn't expire because he's nowhere. Because I thought he was around here somewhere, and it looks like he just got conquered. I don't know. It did say something about our mother. And we do have a populist faction that has risen up. Might have to deal with some rebels. We're almost done with the Find Secrets here. And it looks like she was able to find a secret. Excellent. So let's go ahead and switch her job. We'll do that first, and then we'll deal with that. So let's go ahead and switch her over to support our schemes. And we'll see how much that has increased. We're at 80% of success, 95% of secrecy, with no ability to invite additional agents, probably because we're broke. Okay. So we just have to hope that we succeed here. Yeah. I prefer when I have the full 95% chance of success. That faction, the Independence faction, has disbanded, which is excellent, because it's always the ones you don't want to see. Because like if God forbid you lose, then you lose territory. Oh no, we're gout-ridden. Your court has been renowned for having luxuriant, relentless servings of food. As my feet start swelling, it dawns that many of us might have to prepare for relentless pain too. You have my sympathies, my lord. I have a few ideas which might lessen the symptoms of your gout. Damn. Alright, so that's going to hit our prowess, as well as all of our other skills as well. So that's a shame. That's a severe penalty to our health as well, but we're strong, so we're still fine, but yeah, that's not good. Alright, so we say, do no more than what is necessary. It is too late for caution, or leave me be. How good is he? He doesn't have the physician traits yet. Those are pretty important, but he has good learning. We'll just do no more than what is necessary. It's just gout. And it looks like he did a good job. He reduced the disease symptoms. It's going to increase our health. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so this is the assassination attempt. It's 80% chance of success. And it's going to cost us 95 gold. Murdering a child, are you certain about this? No, I'm not certain, but it must be done. And the deed is done. He'll never grow up or understand the world around him. It looks like they're just trying to make you feel horrible about this. It was apparently simple. A sharp iron needle against the ear, easily piercing soft skin and cartilage. I dismissed the courtier before I am given more details. Yeah, I don't need to know anymore. The wet nurse was caught, but executed in anger before she had a chance to confess my involvement in the crime. Okay, so we gained stress because of this. And you know what? I never put this in place if it didn't go automatically in place. I didn't even check. It looks like it did not. Alright, so we need to put this in to one of our trinkets here. Should have done that already. I was kind of thinking that it would happen automatically, but yeah, it makes sense that that one doesn't get put in place. And, ooh, what happened? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is, we already know about this. He's, got a lover here, and they have we already know that they have one son. She cheated on her spouse here. Not surprising that the other kids are probably his as well. A question of loyalty. So our wife is now pregnant again. And for some reason we don't feel overjoyed about it. She has been acting strange, and I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Am I really the father as she claims, or has she betrayed our union? So we can confront her directly. We can look at this discreetly, which is an intrigue challenge, so 50% chance we'd be successful. Or say I must be the father, surely. I mean, it's not like she'd probably tell us. She's terrified of us, though. I mean, it's a 50% chance. Could be worse. 50-50 chance. Let's look into it discreetly. Let's not accuse her. We don't even have anything other than an odd feeling. Suspicions laid to rest. It seems that my fears have been unfounded. Despite every effort on the part of my spies, I found no indication that she's been unfaithful. Unfortunately, she has found out about my suspicions and is very disappointed in me. Of course I trusted you all along, dear. So we've lost 25 opinion with her. Seemed kind of childish for us to just be making assumptions based on some strange feelings, but yeah, we did. That's what we did. So we did get a martial perk over here. We'll go with the loyalty and respect. That's actually going to increase our spouse's opinion up plus 50 and plus 25% skills from the spouse counselor task. All right, well, it's going to be really helpful. So if we stick with the assist ruler here, we're getting some quite a few points. We could really increase that court intrigue, but again, it's not really a choice because we need the stewardship. Our acquaintance has died. I don't even know who that is. Oh, she's a prisoner. We have prisoners, and we're not dealing with them? Well, that's not right. Alright, so I'm assuming we captured them in that last war that we did, and we just didn't have time in the episode to deal with them. We can't ransom her. We just get a hook. Let's demand conversion and gain the weak hook as well. Though she is a good spy master if we wanted to recruit her. This character over here, can we ransom him? We can. We need the money. So we're going to ransom him. And we have a hook on her. And 10 gold. Alright, excellent. Alright, so still converting over here. Again, that's going to take a long time. We have finished up that plot, so we need to move on to the next plot. So he lost his son. She's at the point where they're probably not going to have additional children. So now we just need to take out the eldest daughter. And it's a 57% chance of success here. Because we already have one predicted agent there. I don't know if that's one of the agents we had before. It's hard to say. But let's go ahead, because I don't remember who we had before. That's why it's hard to say. We already have our spy master boosting this. But yeah, this is not a good chance of success. We might be able to pay somebody off. Let's take the spy master off. I think that'd be good. Let's go ahead and try and find another secret. We have time. And she's pretty good. And that's why we have her here. So let's have her look for another secret. See if we can find something. Oh no. Oh, and that's awful. After we just questioned whether it was ours as well. Very unfortunate. Yeah, this is a rough time with our wife here. So it looks like the King of Bohemia has declared war on us. It makes sense for us to be fighting him, of course. So we're going to need to rally the troops. Apparently we have similar numbers, though I don't know where that 14,000 comes from. I don't know if those are our allies. We got another penalty here. We're in debt. This is like the worst damn time for a war to start. So this is pretty bad, honestly. I almost don't want to raise my troops until we get out of debt. Because, yeah, this is going to really stack up here. I'm not entirely sure what all we could do. I guess the first thing we should do is probably take the steward off of the development. We've gotten it pretty high here. We're at 15. That's not bad. So he's still pretty far from getting the next one done. So it would be good to go ahead and have him collect taxes to boost our income here. That's going to help a little bit, but it's not going to fix the situation here. Could have her focus exclusively on managed domain, but yeah, that's not going to give us much of a boost because that's really not her specialty. So we're already doing the organized army where you get that reduced maintenance. And the reason why I do this early on here is for that reduced maintenance. It is great doing the train commanders and improving your knights and stuff, but I feel like this is the one you got to do when your economy's not doing great in the early game, which is often the case at this point. So we already got that going. This is the new one. That's going to increase knight effectiveness and hostile scheme success chance. It's going to reduce it. Yeah, nothing else as far as our council goes for money here. There's probably no decisions I could think of that would get us any money. So yeah, we could just wait. This would be several months. But remember, our allies need to get here as well. We'll have to pull in our allies, which we actually only have the one king, the one who, children we're currently assassinating. So we can call him into the war. But other than that, we don't have any allies. So what we would need to do is perhaps try and arrange a marriage for our son Casimir and see if we can't get another alliance. I really want an alliance with the Hungarians, and they would be really helpful in this conflict. But unfortunately, there just isn't anybody to do that with. We don't have any daughters, and he's got nothing but sons here. So that's not really an option. Because I don't think you get the alliances for doing sisters, although I don't think it matters anyway. Because they're all married. So yeah, he doesn't have any daughters, and all we have is sons. Well, he has one daughter, but she's already married. So yeah, no alliance that's possible there. Already got Ruthenia in here. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I think we're just going to have to rely on the troops we have here. Alright, so I believe we are going to have to raise them up eventually, but we're probably going to wait just a little while here. He'll bring his troops, 4,000 of them. I'm not entirely sure where they're getting that we have similar numbers here. I think they're definitely going to outnumber us when you count their allies. He does have to use his prestige, of course. Oh, the Hungarians are coming in. Okay, so that's unfortunate. As it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I didn't realize that was his ally. Alright, so they're going to come in here, and they're probably going to go straight to the capital, is what I'm assuming. There's not really any territory, I think, here to stop them. Yeah, they can just go straight over here to the capital. We might just have to be in debt for the whole war. Yeah, we probably wouldn't want to raise it here in the capital yet until we know where their troops are at. And there's his other ally. Okay, so this is going to be a tougher fight. We're going to have a rougher conflict here. But we've had nothing but easy conflict so far. So, yeah, maybe it's about time that we actually get a bit of a challenge here. I assume they should be here soon. Yeah, there they are right there. Okay. And we'll have to see where the Hungarians are, where they go. We're going to want to keep our armies probably as close together as we can, like, as large armies as we can have. And keep them really close to each other. This is farmland, and I don't think we get any bonuses for being in the capital. Wow, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, because you don't have the train bonus. This is a rough capital to have with the farmland, and then we didn't build anything here. So if they go straight after the capital, we get no defensive bonuses for fighting there, unfortunately. So I feel like we're going to need to engage him separately. So we really need to get this army raised up, essentially. There's no way around it at this point. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go and get the rally point out there. And we'll put it... We don't want him too close, obviously. He can't get really through here anyways. The capital's right there. So I'm thinking, like right here, will be fine, I suppose. Well, you might want to move it somewhere that has a little bit more supply. Because we're going to raise them all in the same location. So we'll raise it right there. So it's going to raise up the army. And we'll see how this goes. We'll try and battle him alone before the Hungarians get over here. We'll outnumber him. Now, we do have an event about training a warhorse. As I inspect the stables, my gaze is drawn to a mare kept away from all others. She throws her head and stomps her hoofs, displaying her powerful hindquarters and well-arched neck. This creature has the best of conformations and the worst of tempers. I've never seen such a warhorse before, but the stable master insists that she is impossible to train. So I can say I am not one to back down from a challenge. We might gain a martial lifestyle perk. and the horse might become your own steed. We can instead sell it for money, which we do need, or we can instead say, my stable master will learn a lot from taming her, and we'll get some very nice bonuses here, actually. Yeah, those are some nice bonuses. Alright, well, let's do this one, get the warhorse. We'll try and get the warhorse anyway. You can get some nice bonuses for that. And they're fun events. Alright, one more day here. We're raised up. As you can see, they have around the same number as we do. So let's see if we can't get them to engage us somewhere that's favorable for us. The commander here is not us. That's interesting. Let's put ourselves in charge. We'll keep them all together for now, because I think we're going to be doing this battle. It's just easier to move them. But eventually, we're going to want to split those into two separate armies here. The horse pins her ears back as I approach, her disregard for me crystal clear. The first meeting is important to earn her trust and respect, and I need to decide how to go about it. So we can say a steady hand is required to tame the beast, and this will likely work well with high prowess skill or bold personality, which we are, brave and very high prowess. We can say if I am gentle and move slowly, she will trust me. That's a benevolent character with high diplomacy. Or everyone has their price, bring forth the apples. This is with a generous personality, which we are generous, and then the intrigue skill, which we are not. We're going to go with the steady hand is required to tame the beast. I think that fits best for our character skills. It seems almost like they're now running at this point. I think there's a river here. Kind of sucks we got these events firing. We've got a war going on. Training a warhorse, it is mighty feeling. The powerful horse follows my every whim. Now that I've earned her trust, she seems almost fond of me. So we can say I will keep her as my personal warhorse. We'll get the warhorse, which will increase our prowess and our prestige per month. And we'll get that martial lifestyle perk. We'll get that regardless. Or you can just get the tamer of horses. But yeah, we're going to do this one. Of course. We want a warhorse. And I thought we named it. Was that not that event chain? Is that a different one? Oh, there we go. That's not over yet. Admiring the mare that now follows my every command, I muse upon what to call her. So we say a name inspired by history. Mythology is full of awe-inspiring horse names, or it is just a horse, it should be named as such. We'll name it after a historical horse. And it seems like they've added new ones, right? Yeah, because they used to have like four or five. They got a bunch of them. I guess we'll go with King Charlemagne's horse, Tensender, something like that. Alright, so just really difficult to do this battle here. I guess we are getting hit by these events. So the Hungarians have sent 225 dudes. That's it so far. I wonder if they're involved in another conflict. Is that a possibility? They are dealing with one other conflict over here, which they're currently losing, so they might not come and help. Might just be us against them. Where are our allies at? Are they on the way? Yeah, they're on the way here, another 4,000 men to assist us in this conflict. It's always unfortunate doing the defensive conflicts though, because you don't really get much when you win. Alright, so now they're not wanting to fight us here. Alright, so they're fleeing over here. We're going to see... These are all plains. I want to find them in the hills, but it's got to be a place where it's a fortification so that we get the bonus no matter what. We'll just go here and see where they go next. I don't think they even know. Yeah, they're just bouncing all over the place at this point. They don't even know what they're doing. We have to hope that we don't get the river penalty here. Oh, they're just running. So, because we're in debt, yeah, this is gonna be unfortunate. It is our fortification though, so we will get the defensive penalties, or defensive bonuses, excuse me. But yeah, you can see here that this is a probable loss. It's surprising. We have the numbers. We have a much better commander, I would assume. I don't really know who's commanding here. Well, yeah, they actually have one really, really decent commander here. Their king is actually great. Let me just take a look at the Bohemian king, because it seems that he's pretty good. Man, Marshal 22 here, and House 23. He's a bit older than us. Man, he's a pretty good commander. All right, so yeah, I don't really want to risk it. We want a clear win here. The force bonus, you just don't get as good of a bonus here. So I would prefer them to attack us in some other kind of situation here. I'm surprised that he's not already having some supply issues. He's been stomping around here for a while in our territory. So I'm a little surprised he doesn't have supply problems. Mieszko comes of age. Alright, awesome. So he's displayed a thorough understanding of the flow of gold and wanderings of people. He even expresses a remarkable creativity in dealing with these matters. So he's a fortune builder, which is not the best, but the second best that he could get. So pretty good. So if we just look at him here, he's got 12 martial, 13 stewardship, 5 intrigue, and 7 learning, and the 13 prowess. All right. He's learned those languages though, so he does have that. So he's not yet old enough to learn languages, but we will get him started once he is. He doesn't have his education trait just yet. Could go and engage those guys over there. I don't know if we'll be able to catch them though. I assume not. But yeah, they're going on their own territory now. We might be able to get him because he just moved. Yeah, so now we can go and destroy him over here. And it looks like we were successful in learning the Baltic language. Alright, fantastic. Alright, so I forgot we were doing that. Then we can send a letter if we want to impress him with our knowledge. Okay, we're not going to do that, I don't think. We're just going to say, I feel accomplished. Because it's 50-50 chance. And I don't really even know who that guy was. Alright, so we have learned an additional language, which I want to say that's... Yeah, we still have room for one more. So we could learn East Slavic, I suppose. We should probably just increase opinion, though. We are at war. I want to make sure our people like us. This guy's pretty powerful here with his 3 counties. So let's improve opinion with him. We're going to get him swayed. Alright, so we'll just do this battle here and then we'll have to end the episode, unfortunately. There we go. Excellent. It's going to be a long episode. Completely wiped out. I'm not surprising. It was 225 dudes against almost 7,200 here. So not surprising. So I really want to get these guys engaged. They need to like split or something or attack us in a good position. We're lucky that the Hungarians are currently distracted. We'll have our ally here as well, so that'll make it much more likely we'll win a battle. We also have a perk available. I didn't realize that. The Peacemaker, which will increase the peace acceptance, will make us make it easier to finish this war here. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode as well as the lecture. If you did, make sure you have a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.